Hi everyone, Evie Marie here again with another tutorial for 3DWebWorldz. And today we're going to learn how to build your very first region. We're going to use items that are already in our library so that you can learn some of the tools, and we'll address updating your own objects and textures on another day. So we're in the middle of the ocean surrounded by some beautiful mountains. So we thought that the best thing for us to do would be to add a boat. So once again, if you click in World, you can move your mouse and see in all different directions. Your arrow keys to move forward and back. Your WASD keys also work as well. In order for us to add something or an item from our library, in this case we're looking for a boat, we will press Escape to get our cursor back, click the Edit Tools button on the bottom left. If you are able to build, you will get this message where it says hello and ask you to click the Edit Assets button. We're going to skip to the second area that says Add Items to this region because we're going to use items that have already been uploaded and prepared for the world. And we're going to choose Add Mesh. And what you are going to see is a very long list. So it gets longer every day as members update and upload new items. So we're going to go back, click the back button to get to the Editing Tools panel so we can look at the A to Z Mesh library. In this library, we'll see items that have been uploaded both publicly and privately. So as you see here, you'll see some items that are in my private library. We're going to look at the public options. So the first thing that we want to look for is a boat. So we're going to go to Vehicles, and we see that we have a boat, an orange VW bus, a canoe, and a train available. Let's look at the boat. We went here first, and you can see there's something brown in the sky. So if I click my Page Up key, I can float up to see this very large boat. Move my mouse around, I can look inside. It's a very nice boat. If we didn't like that one, we could choose to look at perhaps a canoe. There it is. Sometimes you have to look around for it. So I think we'll go with a large boat today so that we can show you some additional tools. And just like before, we want to look for that easy ID number, which is number 36. Once you have that number, we can go back to 3DWebWorldz, click the proper tab. We'll go back to Add Mesh. We'll scroll down to number 36, Vehicles Boat, and click Add. You can see here in the green that the item was added, and of course we do not see it yet because we are in a virtual world in a web browser, and we want to click the Reload button. This is going to reload the current world and add all the assets that you have chosen. If you do not see this Reload World button, you want to click the Close menu. You will look at the Menu and Info button so that you can open the menu and then click the Reload Current World. Now, many times people are like, I don't see my boat. Well, in this case, we have to look up. It is rather large. So we're going to need to resize that large mesh, and this is something that happens a lot of times when you import from different builders. So we're going to learn how to use what we call the Building Inspector. On your keyboard, you're going to hit Control, Alt, and I, and you'll see that this black panel, I need to hit my Escape key to get my cursor back. You'll see this black panel here has popped up. Close that menu. And here at the very bottom, we see a entity boat. Now, if I double click that, I get these arrows. That means that we can, scrolling out so you can see a little bit better, I can grab those arrows and move this boat around. Now, up in the top right corner, we see a panel with a black panel with blue numbers. And as we move this boat, if you're watching that, you will see that those numbers are changing to help us keep our location of any item that we are editing. It also has a rotation. So if we wanted to turn it 90 degrees, or if we want to rescale it, which is something that we do want to do, and I'm going to just guess at these dimensions. That looks like now we have a rather tiny boat. So let's go back up to 0.4. There we go. And if we put that boat down on the ocean, not flooded. All right, perfect. Now, so we have arranged our boat in our browser. This is what we call client side, which means that if someone else was in your world at the moment, they would not see what you're doing because it's only on your computer. So now we need to tell the system that this is what we want to do. We want to put this boat in this position at this size. So we'll go back to the Edit tool menu and scroll down to the Editing section. Edit items in this region. The very first button is Edit Mesh Objects in this region. We're going to click that. And right now we only have the one item, the boat. And so we're going to click the Edit button associated with that. It's very easy to do. All we have to do is copy the numbers that we see. Now to make this easier, I'm going to take this to some even numbers because we moved it all around. So we'll take this to 250 minus 25 and 126. We now have the location. The rotation we can just keep as 0, 0, 0 for now. And then by the scale, in the scale column, we'll change it to 0.4, 0.4, and 0.4. When we're done, we're going to, let's just go ahead and put my boat in our notes in case we need it later, and to save my changes. It looks just the same until we open our menu and click Reload World. I'm clicking in the world and spinning around, and there is our boat. Still rather large, but it will work for us for now. All right, so let's add, how about we add a little island? So we go back to our mesh library. We look at terrain, and I know we have a sand dune here, so we're going to, if you want to look and see what that is, a little island sand dune. Escape key to get my cursor back, and that is easy ID number 85. If I go back to the world, add mesh to my world, look for number 85, and we're going to add that terrain. Again, the green tells us that it was added. Back to the Edit tool menu, reload the world. Put it in a proper place with our gigantic boat off to the side. So it looks like we don't even need to edit the sand dune unless you want to change the size. So we'll show you how to do that. Go back down to your editing section, edit mesh objects. Now you see that we have 2 items in our list. We choose edit, click in world, Control Alt I for the inspector if you want to check out what you're going to do. So if I click on the item in world or in my list, it will allow me to edit and look at the edits I want to do on that item. So we're going to try making this a little bit more like an island. So I've clicked my edit on my sand dune, go to scale, and X, Y, Z. So we'll change the Z here to 4, save my changes, reload my world. And there we go. So just to repeat the process and help you learn how to do it. Now, you could have added all the items at once and then done all the editing at once, but we're doing it over and over again to help you with that repetition. So if you click back to Edit Tool menu, A to Z Mesh Library, and let's go to Landscaping. And number 144, I don't have to look at it, but I'll show you what it looks like. We've got a palm tree in there. Back to 3DWebWorldz, add mesh to our world. 144 is a palm tree. And you know, just for giggles, why don't we add 2 of them at the same time? Reload my world And it only looks like one palm tree because they're both added at the same coordinates. So we will click inside the world, Control-Alt-I, and you'll hit escape to get our cursor. And you'll see in our list we have 2 palm trees. So click on one and drag it to get a different coordinate. We can also, if you want to scale it, let's make one smaller. And when you're ready to commit your changes, you go to Edit Mesh Objects. We now have 4 items in our list, and we'll change the first one to 10 and -5. If it's not specific, you can round off your numbers to make it easier, and then change our scale to 0.6, 0.6, and 0.6. Save my changes, reload your world. And that is how easy it is to add mesh items that are already in the library. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you for another tutorial soon.